I think one of the hardest things to do, two things that are very difficult to do. One is forgiveness. It is very, very difficult to forgive until you learn that the forgiveness isn't for the person that harmed you. It's for you. It's to help you in that next step in your journey. But the thing I want to talk about today is acceptance. And I find it very difficult to accept I have a little trouble accepting that I am not as well as I had hoped I would be at this point. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that against Dr. Kelman's better judgment, I went back into the field that had caused a lot of the stress and the initial breakdown. I never should have gone to work for Buckman. I never should have gone to work there. But that's shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't listen to myself and my gut when I made the decision to go back to work. I should have started out slow, like I did when I went back to work in 2004. I started out slow. I went to work for Blockbuster. And I liked that job. I liked that job a lot. I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. The shift that I had, I only occasionally had to deal with people. And I didn't have to worry about a lot of things. But when I went back to work in September of last year, I should have been a little pickier. And the problem is that I didn't listen to my system, and I didn't listen to my doctor, and I didn't listen to Melissa. And I jumped back into that job, and all of the progress that I had made just flitted away so quickly. And the last two jobs that I was offered, and I tried again to get back out there, and those didn't work out. So I am unemployed again. I'm not ashamed of myself. Fully ashamed. I'm mildly ashamed, but not. It is very hard to accept when you're not at a functioning point. No one wants to admit when they need to stop and step out of life for just a little while. Having a breakdown is a very difficult thing to come back from, as I'm learning. It's a very difficult thing to come back from. And I've done a lot of research on it. I've done a lot of research on coping mechanisms and things like that, and the best way to approach recovery from a breakdown. And it really is just a matter of reevaluating your limits and reevaluating your boundaries and learning to live within those. So what I've done, and Melissa and I have talked extensively about this, what I've done is I have accepted enough that I can't go back to work right now. And what made me realize that is I was filling out a job application yesterday, and just filling out the application, I started feeling a panic attack coming on. And when those things occur, that's pretty obvious. That's pretty obvious. So accepting that you have these limits does not make you weak, does not make you a failure, does not make you a burden. It just means that right now in life, you need to pause and you need to learn the boundaries that you can comfortably live in. Not what somebody else is telling you, not what society tells you you have to. Those are extra stresses that you don't need. We all have our limits. We all have our point. No one can tell you how to live within those. You need to discover those on your own. So in the meantime, I'm going to learn German. I'm going to finish my 2 novels. I'm going to finish my 3 short stories. And I am going to heal. I think that's a good plan.